What's up, y'all? I'm back in the longboat for this run. This is a couple runs in a row that I did in the longboat, just trying to learn from the shape of it, from how to handle the additional length, how to make it turn, how to make it more responsive, how I need to adjust my paddling style. So I'm learning a lot from the boat, and I'm really just doing laps on laps on laps. And what I'll do now is try and share a little bit of what I learned at this point in my progression paddling this boat. So you can see my bow angle here, like I'm trying to get cross current speed to get over to the booth, but I give it too much angle and the river just pushes me sideways, which is one consequence of having a longer boat.
Mark, I'm coming for your test, dude. Yeah, buddy, that's it. Primo.
So I still don't make the eddy this time. That's because I'm carrying so much speed and I don't give it enough angle when I lean. So I could have probably mitigated this by catching a lower eddy before hitting the drop so that I wouldn't have as much speed going into it and just fly over the eddy that's beneath the boof rock.
Huge, dude! That's exactly it! Nice!
So one thing that's interesting about paddling a longboat is that your forward stroke really changes a lot compared to what you would pull in your half slice, for example. We're often taught that there's a power channel from the very tip of our bow to our hip, and that we want to put our blade in the water and keep it close to the boat as we turn our torso to propel ourselves forward. But when you have a really long boat, you actually need to put your paddle in the water, your catch, is further away from your boat than we're taught that power channel is. The power channel is right next to your boat, almost touching it, if not actually touching it. And with a longer boat, you're putting your paddle in the water almost a foot, in my case, away from the boat. Your boat will create a diagonal of waves, bubbles. You can see them on either side, the wake that your bow is creating. And you kind of follow that with your forward stroke. It's for a couple reasons, but I think the main reason is just that the boat is so long that you are able to maneuver the stern and all that boat behind you more effectively and use more torso rotation if you put the paddle in the water nice and high, as always, but a little further from the boat. That's something that I was taught, and it made a big difference. The other thing is that you're going to use a lot more stern draws to turn. Sweep strokes with 12 foot of boat just aren't as good at turning. And so there's a technique with longboats where you do a stern draw and kind of compress the paddle into the boat, which will effectively maneuver the bow much more so than just a sweep stroke. So those are some things I'm learning about longboats.
I've been sort of, and they're not afraid of like the anti-cog crowd or whatever.
No, because there's a vibe that I like.
It's still got some guts to it, you know?
Totally. And the vocals are heavy, like it's really good.
When I'm running Beaver at this level, I like to stick to the left. There's water rushing around the rock that's far left of the channel. So you can see me kind of run up to it, and then you just take a big, nice, deep right stroke, and you land on this eddy line that rockets you through the rest of the drop, which is really fun. You can easily run it center and eddy out on the right also if you prefer. Some people will turn around and surf the top wave and try and get the bottom wave even on their way down. But at this level, you can access them from underneath. He knows this wave like the back of his hand. He'd stay on there for an hour and a half if we let him.
Oh, that was so long. Yeah.
I think these dudes have been paddling together for like 15 years. The party wave was awesome to see. This was sweet.
Age and experience over youth and beauty every time.
I'm going to say this in like every video at high water until I forget about it, but just remember, the river looks so different with more water in it. We're passing Slingshot, those rocks on the right, which typically have a nice little creaky drop around them, but they're almost underwater at this point, and usually that's the signal that the big rapid Little Falls at the end is coming up. And so if you're not paying attention to how the landscape changes and the view changes when the river changes, you may find yourself lost and potentially in a dangerous or unexpected situation.
All right.
All right, at this level, the Maryland line is just great. It's super fun, especially in this boat. So we opt for that one on the way down, and I just blast right through it. Good times. This is a short run, mainly because we didn't have the time for a longer one. But one thing I want to call out about longboats is that you can play in them. If you have the right waves at the right conditions, for example, rocky waves in Mather Gorge at around 384 feet, you can totally surf those in a longboat. Longboats are also really good for exercise. Paddling upstream is easier in them, so you can, go down a few features, try and climb your way back up, go down again. There are ways to make a run longer in a longboat, despite the fact that it's really fast. So those are great ways to test your skill and increase your boat control. So I'll post some videos of how we do that over the next few weeks.
What do you think, Mark?
It was fun, man.